Hello, Dr. James Bogash, expert in health and longevity, and today we're going to talk about something that's bothered me for well over a decade now. I remember the first time I had a parent come in that was having an infant, newborn or infant, with spitting up or heartburn or something along those lines, and they were given Prilosec by their pediatrician, and I didn't even I think I was at a loss for words for a moment there, because the idea that something's broken and we need a drug to fix it right out of the womb just grates me to my core. And that's because digestion's we digest and we do everything else, and digestion is critically driven by stomach acid. So if we use drugs like Prilosec or Nexium to stop digestion, we're opening up a whole Pandora's box of problems. Nothing is going to create more immune dysfunction and autoimmunity and problems with the microbiome than shutting down stomach acid production almost out of the womb. And we knew early on, even 15 years ago, the researchers were saying, hey, there's no real research to support this, let alone safety. There were definitely safety concerns. Early on, at least a decade ago, we knew that the bulk of these prescriptions were done inappropriately. There's probably maybe a very small subset of people of infants that maybe this would be helpful for. And I'm going to give some suggestions instead of using this. Maybe it's just that the newborns did a little too much chili dogs and beer. Clearly, you would just cut out the chili dogs and beer, and that might help. But so we've known this for a long time. So have things changed? And this was a large study out of Virginia looking at a couple 100,000 infants, and they found that 7% of the infants were given an acid suppressant drug prescription. That's a pretty huge chunk. It was something like 5,000 infants were given these drugs. And it makes me think that maybe the pediatricians don't understand how important stomach acid is and what it's doing, because otherwise they wouldn't give these prescriptions. So even today, in today's day and age, the numbers have gone down, but they're still being prescribed. So if you're a parent and you're having an infant that's throwing up or crying after eating, there may be something wrong, but it doesn't mean that they're broken and we need to fix it with drugs. That's never the answer. The child is not born broken. So a couple things to consider. First of all, food allergies can be a big player, and that can be looking at if you're formula fed, things like hydrolyzed formula like Nutramigen or Elementum. If they're nursing, then looking at what mom's eating. Maybe mom really is eating chili dogs and beer, and maybe she needs to cut out on that so that what's coming out in the milk is not affecting the newborn. So food allergies are a big player, either in mom or in the infant. The dysbiosis, not having the right bacteria there. A microbiome is incredibly important. It's no different in infants or newborns in helping them tolerate the foods that they're eating. One of the studies I reviewed, probably almost a decade now, it was on B12. The suggestion that, kangaroos, when they come out, baby kangaroos come out and hang out in the womb for a while, and maybe humans, since there's no pouch to go into, maybe there's some infants that are born a little bit too soon is a strong word, but maybe they need a little of assistance with the nervous system. And so in this study, they gave infants a single injection of 400 micrograms of B12, which is not a whole lot. And it was a dramatic improvement in reflux. I want to say it's 60 or 70% of the spitting up went away in giving a single injection in B12. That's not new news. So if your pediatrician suggesting Prilosec instead of B12, maybe it's time to find a new one because they are not following up with the medical or keeping up with the medical literature. As always, I'll post a link to this particular study in the description. Make sure you share this video with somebody who thinks needs the information and subscribe to the channel.